What's up, guys? It's Black and back with some more RA content. Once again, we have Radical Centrist playing as Russia this time, not Ukraine, in his camouflage or color, up against Gargamel in his traditional green, also playing as Russia. And we have another pink flock map, Tounela. I don't know what that means actually, but we have very traditional start. Looks like here. Double mine single, double mine expansion, double mine expansion. Looks like just one old Eric and some single mines in the middle. It's like they are talking about rail, which is something I tried to participate in, but just did not have the time and wasn't really ready for it anyways. Played Gargamel for one game, just kind of screwed around, tried to do something weird, and it almost worked. Fortunately, did not, but it is what it is. It's like Radical Centrist is going to clean that engineer onto that old Eric, and this engineer is going to get that old Eric for Gargamel as well. I'm not sure if we are going to see another like legendary Radical Centrist play or if Gargamel will win, but what I am sure of is that we are going to have a pretty good game because these two players are just producing some great games from what I've seen. It's like Gargamel is going to run down these rifles all the way, maybe try to burn down this old Eric pretty quickly. There's a few rifles there left for Radical Centrist, so might get some little value for it, but this probably will work. Gargamel even being very careful, sending out two rifles here. He actually just might be, oh my god. How did that engineer get away right now? That was just insanely lucky for Gargamel right there. This rifle scout actually going to come in and see that there is going to be another triple ref build from Gargamel. Looks like that is the move, but it hasn't worked out for him before. Now Gargamel trying to force fire here, but Radical Centrist somehow 5D playing has a rifle on the backside is here. Now Gargamel is going to go in, might actually kill his own guy with force fire, but nope, does not. Doesn't lose a single ref there, which is nice, but he does have to worry about this one in the back, and I think he is going to miss it. Engineer is going to be alive for now. Radical Centrist engineer is going to come all the way up here to the top. Random rifle back there. Looks like Radical Centrist is checking, maybe see if there's an engineer down there. Engineer is just waiting in the wings for now, but again, this rifle should be perfectly positioned, and Radical Centrist is reinforcing with more rifles there, so not sure if it's going to work. He's already got his war factory out, and this time he is going for economic route, so actually already has two or one extra harvester. I don't know why I said two, but he is going to have that extra economic lead in just a minute here, as that war factory is still not down for Gargamel. That SD is coming out for Radical Centrist about the same time the war factory is going to come down, which will be nice. Engineer is going in now. Again, this should be instantly stopped by this rifle. I think he has just enough range if it moves. And there we go. Oh, does barely get it. Man, that is super lucky that you can stop on that spot. That is going to save his old Eric. That is going to be a nice little win right there for Radical Centrist. His engineer is also in the back too. That could be really good if Gargamel just moves this city out, you know, captures some free stuff. It's kind of hard to see that during the game when so much chaotic stuff is going on, especially when you pair it with an attack just to, you know, kind of pin your opponent's focus there as well. 5 harvesters out for Radical Centrist. That MCV is coming out. He's starting to reduce his infantry. Meanwhile, Gargamel is going for a 4th harvester. So again, like it's a light vehicle build, but not quite the same. He's also Soviets this time, so it doesn't look like he's actually doing that. Just went for a triple ref instead, pump out those extra infantry. But he is going to move out that MCV and go for heavy tank. So kind of a one base play here. Not terribly opposed to this. This is kind of an interesting map. Maybe park your MC right here. You could probably crawl to both of these. That could be pretty good. Anytime you can kind of save moving your MCV multiple spaces, that is always great. Some rifle scouts coming out here from Radical Centrist. I feel like they have helped him every game I've seen of him so far. So far, they have not done too much this game, but there hasn't been too much to do anyways. Looks like Gargamel is going to maybe try to force over here. He's a little bit farther away, but that's fine. Can definitely get that ref down nice and neat. More rifle scouts going down for Radical Centrist, who is taking the middle, which is kind of a bold move here. We have the statue of the goat too. I think this was a Radical map a long time ago, trying to kill ups, but unfortunately it's a little too much for him. Eggman showing up. Yeah, this was like a Radical Season 10 map, I'm pretty sure. 2 rifles going down, and there is a heavy tank push here in the middle. This could be pretty good. But again, these rifle scouts for Radical Centrist actually paying dividends. Probably going to see this attack. Does hear that there's a heavy tank right there in the middle, which is great because that's where his army is. And that rifle somehow getting 2 rifles for its trouble was really nice. Yeah, Gargamel's gonna come in here. Unfortunately, his heavy tank shoots on a rifle first. Gargamel's tank is going to be that much worse for the wear. Radical Centrist is going to be able to temporarily stall this. He's going to need that flame tower. In fact, you probably place it and get another one down there. He needs to actually expand on the backside of this, which he has. This guy is playing some great RA. Love to see it. But Gargamel is feeling it. He is going to push in here. Might get a Harvester for his trouble. Oh, yes, it does. And he actually is probably going to get a clean up on this army. Problem is that there's still some armor left for Radical Centrist, and he does have MCV support here, so he can drop another flame tower as needed. But oh man, he's moving command his army and wasting a lot of it. That is unfortunate. Yeah, that was a move command, brother. That is going to hurt, but we've seen you come out of deeper holes than that, so I have faith in you. And you do have this expansion on the back with 4 Harvesters, which is really great. Gargamel sounding the retreat as that heavy tank gets stuck and goes down. That's unfortunate for him. It's actually going to allow Radical Centrist to recoup some of his cost. There is a 7 to 5k lead, and as soon as I say that, of course, it goes up to different numbers, but I think Radical Centrist is looking definitely on the back foot again. This play from Gargamel coming out pretty strongly, and he is just able to crawl over to here. Won't be like the cleanest placement for that ref, but I think it will be good enough for its purposes. Probably should pump out maybe 1 or 2 more heavy tanks and then think about going into an MCV, because he is going to want to establish this before Radical Centrist steals away. If he steals that away, that could be really good. In fact, Radical Centrist is trying to steal this away from Gargamel, which is not a bad idea either. Both these armies are a little stretched, but Radical Centrist has a little bit more of concave going on the bottom, but he is sacrificing a ton of stuff in the top. Gargamel does have quite the army right here. Army advantage is now swung back into Radical Centrist's favor, but I think this attack right here will probably change it. Although, nothing much too lost on either side yet. MCV support coming in from the bottom now too. Oh, that bad pathing on that heavy tank just gets itself killed. And with the flame tower there, Gargamel does retreat again. So yeah, he's kind of getting choked out of the middle here, which is pretty important. He's probably going to have to get onto that other MCV pretty soon, because that is going to make the difference maker here. If he just gets pinned on this one base play while Radical Centrist can just monopolize the map, then he will just slowly lose to attrition, which is something that we've seen a lot, especially in games like this. Single rifle is just poking at a Harvester, because why not? Because it is stopped perfectly outside that flame tower's range. Little scout army going over here, but looks like they got caught up on some bad pathing or something and get cleaned up, but they did sacrifice their lives. Know that there is a rather large army right there, and pretty much nothing over here. As long as this as long as this heavy tank gets in front before these flame tower, it's been pretty good. Or if the army just stops right there. But no, the flame tower is going to get some beautiful shots off, and pretty much all of the rockets go down instantly. And now there's just a heavy tank left. Gargamel is rotating on the side. It looks like he does have the second MCV out, which is great. That is going to make Radical Centrist have to play a little bit more conservatively than he probably wants to. Tier 2 is out again. Do I see a V2 coming out? Not quite, but I'm sure it'll be coming out rather shortly. But here's going to be a pretty big push here, and Gargamel's got some good concave spread. Radical Centrist has a decent sized army as well though, so this will be pretty close. I'm not sure who will win this fight. Maybe with the MCV report, Radical Centrist has a chance. Places the flame tower down back here, which is quite interesting. Gargamel is just going to rotate off. Oh, and that engineer did get a power plant. Not the best thing in the world, but hey, that is something that your opponent has to rebuild for, basically got for free, so that's not a bad idea at all. And again, this rifle scout from Radical Centrist is probably going to be really huge. Sees that there is an army trying to come through right here. The V2 actually almost gets a great shot. And now Gargamel is forced to hard commit here, but this V2 is going to be pretty good, I have a feeling. It's going to land juicy right in the middle there. It gets a huge number. That is a huge swing right now. And with that, Gargamel is going to get pushed back here. Those tanks in great position for Radical Centrist as well. V2 getting another rocket for its shovel. Already up to Venture 1. These V2s have been so good for him. I'm so pleasantly surprised at how good they have been. Radical Centrist is going to probably take the retreat here since he runs into some flame towers, but hey, guess what I have? V2s. Guess what flame towers can't reach? V2s. Guess what kill flame towers really could? V2s. Yes, it is V2s. It's V2s all the way down. Oh, and this little flank over here on this backside or is going to be pretty nice. Although Gargamel, ooh, he is trying to blind expand and just randomly Radical Centrist has stuff over there. I'll have to see if this MC goes down or not. This heavy tank might draw this army away. We'll have to see. This attack over here is going to get a lot of Harvesters as well. And this MC might actually just escape by since Radical Centrist is not paying attention. Both these players are going to lose a lot of Harvesters. 2 Harvesters going down on top. Looks like 2 more going down on the bottom for Radical Centrist. Probably going to be a 3rd in just a second here, but there's also a push going on in the middle, and the V2s are still poking on that side. MCV is back here as well. This army gets cleaned up. There goes those harvesters. That is actually going to hurt. The rest of this army is cleaned up. But now Radical Centrist is pushing in through this middle, and I feel like I just talked 100 miles an hour there. I feel like I was an auctioneer or something, but gonna lose the ref. Both these players pretty hurt. 4 harvesters down for Gargamel, 6 down for Radical Centrist, so he's in a little bit better shape. I thought I heard a Tesla coil somewhere. I'm not sure where it was. The Gargamel's army over here just pushing through, and this MCV fortunately did get through unseen. But now Radical Centrist is just gonna deep dive right now, and I think he's actually gonna get away with this, at least for the time being. A little bit does get picked off here, but you know, he is forcing all of that back, and that is going to give him more time to go back on here this left side. Meanwhile, this is going to be huge, but it looks like Radical Centrist is scouting it and does see their stuff there. Probably forgot about this army on the back side, but hello V2s again, coming all the way down. And there is a Tesla coil, but those V2s should not be scared of that. In fact, this army should probably start engaging soon. Oh, this army was trying to camp on the harvester, but it looks like it is going to get cleaned up with help of that harvester tanking and this vision from the tank. But yeah, the space is gonna get pushed down. The V2s, looks like with help of the heavy tanks, did clean out that Tesla coil. Oh, and luckily for him, those Yaks are out. They are gonna go back into this army, and I'm pretty sure this MC will get away as long as this heavy tank does not follow it too closely. It does get the crush off, which is nice, and the flaks coming in, killing the V2s, which is great. Meanwhile, this attack from Radical Centrist, or Gargamel rather, looks like it's going to get defended by Radical Centrist here. The flak pack is doing the best it can. Actually, might get this MCV. That is huge. There's a technician blocking it, but they don't know it's there, unfortunately. Tank flank going down. Oh, but their Yaks are rearmed. Goes in for the MCV, but it deploys just in time. But I think they have enough ammo to do it, especially with the Yak crash that I expect to happen. Oh, 1 Yak going down. Oh, barely gets it. That is huge. I mean, probably worth it in the long run. This MCV does get deployed, so will not be killed by those flaks as well. Tier 2 out for Gargamel as well. He is slowly, I think, starting to take this game back from Radical Centrist. Looks like Radical Centrist was briefly on the back foot, and they did Radical Centrist things and got back somehow, but really it's going to be an economic tail. Both these players completely broke. A lot of assets being invested into this expansion right now. Tesla code probably going to get some rockets over here, which will be great. Just get 2 rockets for us trouble before it goes down, and now the flak's coming over here. Oh, but no one more harvester going to go down. That's actually big. Flame tower somehow missing both of its shots, but I think the next one will be pretty good. Oh, and a flank over here by Gargamel that I missed. Looks like it's being pretty effective, but there is a V2 in the back lines here, and he gets another fantastic shot up to Vestige 2, and Tier 3 is out for Radical Centrist. He does have IC ready to be deployed, but not charged up just yet, and that will make a huge difference again. This one ore field not claimed right here, but this one is pretty juicy, and both these players really gunning for it. But I think Radical Centrist has to deal with this army that's quite big on the bottom right now. It's just going to be in a matter of, can he stabilize, get that IC out in time, and have enough to actually use it. This V2 is trying. Parabombs, paratroopers right now getting called down to be slaughtered. But the heavy tank does go down. Might go back in with a V2 now. About to see. 1 harvester over here. Might get 1 more load off. I don't think it's going to. I think it's just going to die. Oh, barely gets the load off as the heavy tank focuses on the MCV instead. This V2 is going to hunt down this army with the export, which is great. Radical Centrist is going to lose his hold up here, and this MCV is no longer able to get away with these flak tack right on top of it. But he's going to trade that out for a rather big army right here, if he can. V2 is trying, gets another fantastic shot. Not the best shot in the world, actually. But he's just screening it with the Yak and this V2. Gargamel's forced to split it up. Actually, might get lucky and target the V2. Nope, does not. V2 gets another fantastic shot there. And now, what does Gargamel do now? Probably just push through this left side. Saved a chunk of his army down there, which is great. Ooh, almost sacrifices his heavy tank there. But it's fine. I think Gargamel is looking really strong this game. Gargamel has the economic front, although he's still down on harvesters. Just needs to get some drafts up. Got 3 V2s over here, which will be really nice. What does Radical Centrist have? Well, he's got some Yaks. He's got IC advantage, which is basically charged. And he almost killed that heavy tank over there. So, yeah, well, 3 V2s might have something to say about that, as long as he doesn't just force fire all right there. But unfortunately, it looks like that's what he's going to do. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, third one was on a flame tower. Still gets a rifle force shovel, which is nice. Now Radical Centrist is gonna try to come over here, but I mean there is some flax. I did see there's yaks coming in with that vision. Actually might be able to just sweep through all this. Does get all the yaks, and probably will get at least one of these V2s. Nope, that yak is out of ammo. Unfortunate there, but did probably pay for itself in that. Rifle up there being a rifle, being annoying. Gargamel try to push down here again. Might come into a little bit of trouble, but does have quite a big army. And again, that IC is definitely ready. That could be pretty brutal if he doesn't see it coming. Now he's going to push on the top. Also has the IC option on this, but definitely would be better served down here. I do see the plus coming. Oh, but he misses one tank, but I think he'll be okay. It's just going to push in. Gargamel focusing on the one tank as much as he possibly can, but IC is so annoying to deal with. And his army is going to get pushed back, but I think the MCV will save it because the IC is going to run out. I think there's just enough here to try to quickly burn down this MCV, but I think the better choice is to kill the army, and that is the correct choice. But the Tesla coil is barely going to live for now. Might get another flame tower out in time. Oh, but the V2 comes in. Tesla coil does go down. I think this MCV is now forfeit as there is heavy tanks. Army's coming to save it, but unfortunately it is not going to happen. No flame tower either. Oh no, now this V2 is in great position just to get a bunch of rifles and rockets. Yak swarms over here trying to save this army, but I don't think it's going to do it. Gargamel is going to repel that assault. But man, this is an insane game. Little flank over here. Looks like it's getting something good. I think it was more power, maybe something more important than power. I'm not sure exactly what it was. But the Yak should be able to clean that up. Might lose one if the rocket wants to retarget. But nope, we're just on a move command. Does lose a Yak. And eventually goes down. This attack, push back. Radical Centrist thinking better about moving that MCV. Just decides to leave it in the middle. I think that's a great place. Your IC is right here, very exposed in the middle as well, but also nestled behind quite a line of flame towers. V2 up to Veteran C2. Probably going to poke away again. This rifle still poking away up top. I think Gargamel's one mistake right now is that he is not on tier 3 as well with that. But he is certainly trying. V2 getting another decent shot. But I think Gargamel has the forces to take this away, but there is some yaks coming in. This could be pretty good. Unless they don't shoot and they get down to low health for no good reason. V2 is up to Veteran C3 though. Oh no, tank coming in from the top accidentally. Is going to go down without much recourse there. V2 still alive. Probably needs to get repaired. And man, that yaks have just been so good. Finally going down, but did enough damage to force Gargamel back. He is going to have to retreat. Meanwhile, I'm not sure what that was. Maybe a heavy tank or something. Gargamel is going to have his old deck probably killed by Radical Centrist with that little army right here. And now this army is going to be able to push all this back. I don't think Gargamel can hold this. Unless Radical Centrist just has the tanks completely out of position. But no, he gets them in position. He'll be just fine. V2 would probably might get a good shot here. Looks like everything died before it. Old Dark does go down. Flame Tower perfectly positioned though, getting clean up all the rockets there on that little attachment. Now Gargamel is forced to just slowly lose stuff on this right side here. This V2 is being so nice. Probably won't get up to Veteran C again, but you never know. I'm always hoping for elite. IC goes off and a great timing. Needs to focus on that V2 since it's within range, but it does get away. But I think that IC was a great use there. It's going to force Gargamel back even further. Just needs to keep dancing besides these V2 rockets, and he's doing a great job here. One V2 down. V2 on his rear cleans up the IC. Ooh, and we see a shock trooper transition here. That's not a bad idea, but here comes the yaks. Goodbye, V2. Pair drop over here, probably actually going to help save this. Nope, decides not to use the axe to save it. Oh, a Tesla tracks transition too. Interesting choice. I'm not sure if that's going to be what he needs right here. This army is actually static right now, and he's probably going to lose this V2, which is unfortunate. I'm not going to see elite. There it goes. Flak right on top of it, and goodbye. That's just a 3 V2. You will be missed. But Tesla transition here is interesting. It's not a bad idea. It's pretty solid. The only thing he's got to worry about is these mass yaks. But then again, IC is also up there, and there's no IC for Gargamel that I can see so far, at least. Tesla tracks are going to kill. that last remaining paratrooper. A lot of heavy tanks sitting here in the middle, so that could definitely be repaired. But what does Radical Centrist go from here? Well, he could probably do Tesla Tech himself. That's always a good answer when your opponent slows mass Tesla, especially Shock Troopers, because Shock Troopers are pretty good. Tesla tanks maybe a little over nerfed, but they're also a lot easier to micro rather than just brainlessly microing. So, it is what it is. Man, that Yak Flak is in huge numbers, probably going to kill this radar. Doesn't matter, but he is going to kill the airfield, which is nice, but he's losing some Yaks here, at least 1, 2. Can I see 3? I see 3. No 4. Eventually 2 up on that Yak. Another one back here probably should be repaired as well, because those Yaks could just easily snipe it. So we're going to see Tesla versus Mass Air. I think Mass Air will probably beat that, just because, I don't know, you have to have light armor, infantry armor, and Yaks are really good at killing that. We will see. A lot of heavy tanks coming in up here. 3 Yaks for Gargamel too, so you can deal with this infantry if you can get a good angle. Unfortunately for him, Radical Centrist just is swarming his infantry on those heavy tanks, so. Oh, looks like Yak's trying to do Yaks. Oh, they find the IC though. He's going to be forced to use it on the IC if he wants to save it. But no, it goes down. I think he is paying attention elsewhere. That is a big snipe right there. That is a big win. That is going to allow him to push effectively, especially down here in the bottom. V2 clean up 3 rockets instantly, which is nice. And this Tesla tank being a little bold, pushing in, but I think he will be fine. But can Gargamel stop this up here? I'm not sure he can. He's still got the Yaks in reserve, but looks like they used all their ammo. That's a lot of heavy tanks for him, and I think Gargamel can definitely be routed by these Yak Flak, which has 0 armor to stop them, and goodbye all of that. Now Radical Centrist is still pushing up here. T2 is rebuilt, and there is a V2, but this is a lot to deal with. V2 does not get a great shot, but this radar is going to go down again. The Yak's dealing with the Flaks poking on the back as well. That V2 shot. Fantastic kills up basically all the infantry, and there's just nothing but heavy tanks left, but there is a lot of juicy harvesters for these heavy tanks, and 5 heavy tanks can delete a harvester in pretty much instantly. Looks like Gargamel falling to the heavy tanks once again. I don't know what Radical Centrist is on, but man, he is just playing out of his mind. You can't fault Gargamel for that. Yeah, those Yaks just obliterated that attack on the bottom more, and I think like every time Gargamel tried over in here, it just set him back, but well played by Radical Centrist. So beating Gargamel 3 times in a row. I'm sure there's other games that Gargamel has routed Radical Centrist, but they just are not currently on my radar. I'm sure I'll find them eventually. But that is going to be it for this week, and I'll see y'all next time.